Well, I just did something I never would have predicted. I bought firewood. Got all these woods behind us. You know we live in the northwest section of Pennsylvania. All these great hardwoods, oak, cherry, maple. But I ran out of firewood. We've been scavenging. It takes it a little bit of time to dry out. I found a seller who sells seasoned firewood, a cord at a time or more if you wanted it. So let's talk about that experience. As you saw from the intro, we bought this cord of firewood, and if you watched the last video, you saw I was getting 3 IBC totes ready. Wanted to do a little experiment, a couple actually. First of all, see what firewood looks like when you buy it. I know that every vendor is a little bit different, but I wanted to see from this local vendor, which had the lowest pricing that I could find at $160 for a cord of firewood. They claim it's been seasoned for 18 months. I wanted to give it a look, see what the quality was like, so then if we start selling firewood in the future, I know what our competition looks like. Now, $160 is a pretty low price point for around here. I've seen it go as high as $400, and I've seen it go as low as about $200 a cord, so $160 is a good price. This particular vendor just started selling firewood last week, so I think their situation changed. They were looking for some additional income, and they decided to give firewood a try. They had acreage with wood on it that was timbered a few years ago, and they wanted to use that to make some additional money. So in addition to seeing what the quality of this firewood is like, I also want to see a couple other things. One, is it a full cord? Now I know that a full cord should take up 3 full IBC totes. As you know, my tractor can't lift a totally full IBC tote, so we have a 4th one prepared if we need it. But I want to stack this in the totes and see how close to 3 full totes it comes. The other thing I'd like to see is how long does it take me, one person, to load a cord of firewood into the IBC totes. So I'll be running a timer on my watch while I'm working, but I want to just see how long it takes to load 1 cord of firewood into these totes. So I'm going to start with the tote on the right. We'll start filling that one up. The time right now is 2:35 p.m. One of the first things I'll notice in this cord is that they're all different lengths. And I probably would have split this one again. Same with this one. This is a pretty long one. As far as seasoning goes, not certain. Some of it does feel good and dry. Others feels a little heavy to me. Again, this is a piece I would have split again. This is one of those pieces he warned me about. I don't mind that since he let me know that these would be mixed in with the cord and he gave me a little extra, he says. Now, since these are cut so long, some of them, they won't fit 2 rows front to back. Here's another good example of a round that I would have split. Here's another sample of a weird piece. Now you can see I'm up above the 2nd rung down most of the way across here. I've come across quite a few pieces I would have split again, a lot of different lengths, and some of them still feel really heavy. So before I load this up much more, just to make sure my tractor can lift it, I'm going to do a lift test, and then we'll keep filling it up if it'll lift it and move it around safely. If not, we'll start on the 2nd tote. This tote so far took me about 18 minutes. That's all the higher I can lift that, so I'm not gonna be able to fill it up anymore. That's kind of a bummer. I can't even really lift it up high enough to drag it very well. All right, so for now we'll leave that in there. We know that's about as full as I can fill it. So before I get to my thoughts, go ahead and pause the video, go down below and comment. I bought 1 cord of firewood. Did I get ripped off? Go ahead and pause it. Let me know your thoughts below, and then hit play and I'll tell you what I think. Okay, so hopefully you already left your comment below. Here's my thoughts. So this is supposed to be a cord of firewood, and everything I've seen online from the channels that I like to watch, like Hometown Acres, Outdoors with the Morgans, says that a cord of firewood is 3 IBC totes filled to the top. I'd consider this one filled to the top, maybe a little extra, I'm not sure. There's a lot of strange junk wood in here. Like if you're familiar with cherry trees, they get that growth on them sometimes. We have a lot of it on the cherry trees in our woods. And I've got pieces in there like that that aren't even split. And that's gonna need split before I would burn it. And it's not what I would call high quality firewood. And I would say that for the lot here. This isn't what I would expect if I were buying a cord of firewood to burn in, you know, decorative fireplaces in my house. Now I will say there's nothing in this firewood that I bought that I can't burn in my wood stove. Doesn't matter if it's 20 inches long, doesn't matter. Some of it may need split, some of it's little stuff, but all that will burn in my wood stove. And then you can see I've got 1 full tote and 2 that are half, maybe 2/3 roughly. So, you know, here's what I'm thinking. I paid $160 for this firewood. In a $400 a cord world, if that's where we're at, this is probably $160 with the firewood, because I don't think it's a full cord and it's not the best quality. But like I said, it is $160 of firewood that'll all burn in my buck wood stove in the basement. So did I get ripped off? Well, I guess if you're saying you didn't get a full cord of firewood, probably. I guess if you're saying, well, it's not great split wood, probably. But it's also kind of one of those you get what you pay for kind of situations. I paid $160 and this is the wood I got. Now, I had said before I wanted to test to see if it was all seasoned. I didn't bring the moisture meter out here because that would be an unfair test. It snowed all night last night. You can probably see the flurries coming down now. So to test this for moisture right now would be totally unfair. I will say that some pieces felt nice and dry and light, some pieces felt heavy. So I think there's probably a mix in here, some wood that's not ready to burn and some that is. So I'll take it in the basement and test it before I throw it in the wood stove. I will tell you one nice thing. It took me almost an hour and a half to stack and load that wood into these 3 IBC totes. And I was moving the camera around a couple times. I didn't stop the timer for that. And I was kind of sorting too. I was trying to put some round stuff that needs split at certain spots in the tote, tried to fill that one completely up, and took some out of this one so that I could lift it up. So I've got 2 that I can move with the John Deere front end loader. That one I can't move, but I'll pull from it and take into the basement as I need wood. So it took me about an hour and a half roughly to load this firewood into the totes. And not having to handle it the first time, like I didn't have to load this into the back of my truck and make several trips. It was nice that for $160, this firewood was delivered in the back of a dump truck and then dumped here. So it saved me from handling it at least one extra time. So yeah, that was our first experience ever buying firewood. We've got plenty of wood in the woods here around us, but less time to go get it, especially when the nights get so dark early. It's starting to lighten up earlier now and stay light a little bit later, so that's nice. But it was a good experiment to see a couple things. How much wood exactly could be in one of these totes that the tractor could lift? What's it like to buy 1 cord of firewood? What's the quality like? What can you expect for the money? And then if we get into selling firewood, what my expectations are. You know, I'm a really particular person, especially something I'm buying. And I'm certainly thinking that if I were selling firewood to someone, the quality would have to be top notch. And maybe I'm just too picky. I'm not sure. I'd like to hear what you guys think down below. But for me, if I'm going to buy especially a $400 cord of firewood, it better be all nicely split, even lengths, and seasoned wood. If you like videos like this, make sure you click that like button. Share it with your friends so they can start watching Purple Collar Life too. And then if you haven't already, comment down below. We really appreciate it. Thanks. We'll see you next time. Stay tuned. In the future, we've got something really exciting. Another reason I had to put the forks on, in addition to moving these totes, is to unload a truck tomorrow. So wait till you see what we got now. Here's all the little nubbins that were extra. Strange little 3 or 4 inch pieces. I'll take those in the basement, throw them right in the wood burner. Gotta love those pallet forks and those IBC totes for firewood storage. I ran out of bungee straps, but good old binder's twine will work just fine. Tie this rain cap on for now.